Hi guys, welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are all remote again. Jesper is back from New Zealand. Larry's here again from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then I'm here from beautiful Granville, Michigan. This studio is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair in Grand Rapids Hybrid, and we will talk to them in a few minutes.
So am I from New Zealand all of a sudden?
Did I say New Zealand?
You did. You're thinking of Janet. You're thinking of Janet. Shout out to Janet. Poor thing. She took a nasty fall. I'm sure y'all seen the pictures that she sent. But we just want to send our best wishes to her and for a speedy recovery because that was a nasty fall.
She's doing okay though. She's in good spirits and she's doing good.
She's a trooper.
Yeah, she looks like she got in a fist fight. Not gonna lie, it's.
But I think it was with the cement, though, right?
Yes.
Nobody actually hit her.
I guarantee she won't step over that baby gate again. She will move it and walk through, and then reclose it. So, if you guys can share the show in any of your Facebook groups, Twitter, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and like the post. We would really appreciate it. Also, anything, gig economy related, you can go to gigeconomy.podcast.com. Also, in the description, there's a link tree, which is kind of a cool feature. If you click on that, it has everything gig economy related, our website, how to download the podcast, all our social media, merch, and all that stuff. So, want to thank you, the Patreon members, and that's Keith from Georgia, Janet from New Zealand, not Jesper, Leo from Detroit, Larry, of course, from Bowling Green, Samson from GR, Miguel from Grand Rapids, and Ron G from San Francisco. We really appreciate everyone supporting the Gig Economy Podcast. And then, of course, our Telegram group where you can see the pictures of Janet's black eye, if you're curious. Not that you shouldn't go there for that, but I'm just saying, if you do go there.
You can go and wish her, good wishes and a quick recovery.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. She seems to be doing better. But it looks a lot worse than it probably feels right now. But that link is actually in the show description. So if you click on that, you can join. We talk about gig work. We talk about cats. We talk about gummy bears, whatever.
All the important stuff.
Many, many, many more subjects.
Phallic gummy bears. Well, they wouldn't be bears. They'd be phallic pieces of gummy candy. Try not to say the word dick, but
Jason, I think you're out on a tangent already.
Already.
Didn't take long.
So this is the portion of the podcast where we talk about stories, and thanks, Michael, I just don't have any. I don't understand. Like, I'm not doing people, so maybe that's part of it, or maybe I'm just not looking for them. But I feel bad. Like, I'm out there 40 hours a week doing gig work, but I'm just not having terrible interactions. But I know Larry had a funny interaction. Why don't you tell us about that, Larry?
Sure. Yeah. Saturday night I was out driving. It was about 2 a.m. and I was starting to wrap things up and got a call for a ride, and it showed me that it was going to be a little over 20-minute ride. So that's good, especially that time of night. Not much else business going on. So get there and the timer is almost running out. So I'm getting ready to call them, and a girl comes out. And I don't want to use any names, so I'm going to use boyfriend, girlfriend, and passenger in this story. So this girlfriend comes out, and she's like, "Please don't leave. My friend's here. It's my birthday, and she's here celebrating. She's a little drunk. Well, she's a lot drunk actually, but please don't leave." And so she handed me $20. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm not going anywhere. $20, I'll stay for that'll keep me around for a little bit." So then she goes back in. And she comes out a couple minutes later. She's like, "I promise she's almost ready. Please don't leave." I was like, I told you I won't leave. So I'm not going to leave. And she says, "Actually, me and my boyfriend are going to ride with you because she's pretty drunk and we just want to, we don't want to dump her on you." I was like, "Well, I appreciate that very much." But now it's like a 45-minute trip and I've got to take a piss. But luckily I would have never done this, but the boyfriend, I had him as a passenger several times. So I knew him. So I knew he's cool. So I was like, "Hey, it's going to be 45 minutes. You can mind if I run in and just use your restroom real quick?" She's like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem. So we walk in immediately. It reeks of weed. I mean, thick cloud of smoke, And there's like 5 liquor bottles on the coffee table. So I go use the bathroom real quick and I come out. So the boyfriend's sitting on the one side of the couch, the girlfriend's sitting next to him, and the girl who's supposed to be my passenger is giving her a full-on lap dance. I mean, full-on lap dance. And I'm like, all right. You know, showtime's over. We need to get this ball rolling. I need to get out of here and get home. So me and the passenger are heading outside, and the boyfriend and girlfriend are getting their stuff together. So we're about halfway to the car, and the drunk girl goes, I forgot my glasses. Can you go in and make sure they get my glasses? I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
So I go back to the door, come back. Well, the drunk girl has gotten into the front passenger seat, and she's taking her shirt off.
Oh, God.
Well, she was probably hot, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. Yes, exactly. So I get in, she's like, I'm so sorry. It's so hot. It's so hot. I just had to take my shirt off. I'm like, well, honey, that's fine. I'll turn the air on for you, but you really need to put your shirt back on.
Yeah.
And about that time, the boyfriend and girlfriend get to the car and they talk her into putting her shirt back on. So it was a very interesting ride. And then we finally get her to her apartment. She's talking nonsense the whole 20-minute ride. Yeah. Just nonsense. And we get to her apartment. It's kind of around this curve. And so they walk her in, make sure she gets in. She's safe. They come back out. And we're pulling out, going back around the curve. And all of a sudden, I see something in my peripheral vision. And I look over, and this girl's running out to the car. Same girl. and she's got this Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss hats, the big puffy hats.
Yeah.
It's got birthday candles all over it. And so she's telling her friend, she's like, it's your birthday. You have to wear the birthday hat. And she jams it on her head. And she's like, okay, I'll wear the birthday hat. So get them back home. It's another 20 minutes. They give me another $20. So I end up making $90 on the ride, which took about an hour. So not bad.
There's some days, Larry, I say, I really miss taking drunk passengers. And then I hear stories like that. I'm like, nope. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you did that and how patient you were. I wouldn't even gone into their house.
But here's the funniest part of the whole thing. I get home about 3:15, 3:30, and my wife always wakes up just a little bit when I come to bed and asks me how my night was. She always asks, did you have any funny stories or memorable stories?
Right.
So I tell her this story, what happened. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's so used to the craziness that it doesn't even faze her.
Right.
And I told her the next morning, I was like, I really have to just give you props. I was like, most wives would freak out. Their husband said, oh, yeah, I had this girl come back to my car and this girl's got no shirt on. And you're just like, oh, okay, it's another night. Sleep, good night. Sleep well.
Yeah. That's how you know you're a rideshare veteran, that your wife is like, okay, whatever,
Just another night.
It's another night.
Streets in Bowling Green.
Another $1. So
I got to tell you, Jason, I miss taking the drunks, honestly.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I did.
I find it so funny.
I know that was big part of my favorite things. It's just because you never. I mean, it was really never bad, right?
Well,
and there was a couple of bad ones, but they weren't the drunk ones. There's just stupid men, and it's just.
Well, I feel like you both are more tolerable of stuff than I am, so I think.
No.
Yeah.
Don't touch the radio.
So I think my stuff I probably amp up more than I probably need to. But what I told Megan earlier, my wife, I was like, I miss the night and the camaraderie with my friends. That's what I miss the most. I don't miss the drunks. Yeah. I miss like us, like, oh my gosh, I almost had a puker, and like, just a little bit of adrenaline there.
Yeah, it's so weird now. Like I said, I say it all the time on the Telegram group. I'm out here, a Thursday or Saturday night, and it's just dead. There's nobody. It may be me. Maybe John. He's not on at night very much anymore.
No.
Every now and then Chris will be on or somebody. I don't know, but it used to be. I mean, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It was just, gosh, you remember waking up to 500 messages,
thousands of messages.
Well, and it was also that was what kept you going that extra 2 hours in the middle of the night. Like
it did.
It got to be 1:30. Okay, we gotta get. Come on, we gotta keep going till 3:00 here. Come on, we gotta get that next 50 bucks.
Exactly.
And it was.
I don't miss being a zombie over the weekend though. Like Larry runs on like 2 hours of sleep. I don't know. When he tries to lose weight, he doesn't eat for 2 weeks. I mean, it's like
he's extreme.
He's a machine. He's a machine. So I don't miss being a zombie on the weekends. Like
No.
I work all weekend, but I'm like working during the daylight hours, and I'm usually done by like 5 or 6 at night. And then I was like, all right, time to be done.
I don't think I'll ever see myself going back to driving as much as I was before. But
Yeah.
once I get the vaccines, I think I'll go out drive probably at least once a week.
Well, the problem is the bars aren't. I mean, they're closing at 10 or 11 o'clock. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
ours
the
are
time I
closing
want to drive.
Yeah, ours are closing at midnight, or they're supposed to close at midnight. There's a few of them that are not closing at midnight. I know because I'm picking up people from there, and
Right.
and of course, the college kids they're out at all hours. They're going to fraternity houses or sorority house. They're out all hours. They usually don't head out till 10 or 11 at night. That's when they're going out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I wonder if that would change, like in GR. I'm wondering how those late nights are. I mean, and then it's 25% capacity at least for a couple more days. So.
Well, yeah, they just went to 50, right? And then the curfew is now 11 o'clock. So.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think we went to 60%.
Oh,
yep.
Bars back open here in Ohio till 2:30. Tip Dash said from Periscope.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm sure we'll get there pretty soon, a month or two, and then I think we'll be back.
I did read something that, it is what it is. When people say I did read something, like it wasn't from the Daily Mail. I swear to God, it wasn't.
Was it on the internet? Then it was fake.
Yeah, true.
There you go.
That they said that every adult in America by the end of May, there should be enough vaccine for every adult. Doesn't mean everyone will have it by then, but there should be enough.
Isn't that what Biden said today? I think he said something like that. That
was like I don't know.
The plan. He was talking about capacity. I thought I read the same thing.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, I got my first shot Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
we're talking about shots. I got to bring it up. John from North Carolina posted a story today that says in the state of North Carolina.
Oh, I know what you're bringing up.
This is crazy. In that state, if you go to a vaccine place and you have smoked at least 100 cigarettes in your life, you can get the vaccine.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that one. That's pretty weird. I mean, when I went to get mine, I mean, technically, I was going to be eligible on Monday because it was Monday. They opened it up to all sorts of essential workers, including food delivery drivers. So, and IT people. So I would have been eligible anyway. But Saturday, my sister called and she's like, they're on the radio, begging people to come in because these vaccines are going to go to waste because they don't have enough people. Yep. So, we had to sign up. And when we sign online to sign up for your appointment, you had to pick whether you were like emergency personnel or child care worker.
So what do you call yourself?
I was a child care worker for the day.
Child care worker, okay.
I wonder how
with 8 kids. Yeah, I'm a child care worker.
I assume when they throw that call out and you go get that one, that you're eligible for the second one regardless. Like
I think so. Yeah, because they already scheduled my next appointment.
Oh, okay. Because I often wonder, like, what if they don't have enough for when you need the second booster or whatever?
Yeah, supposedly, yeah. And they once you got there, they didn't ask you anything. I mean, you had to have your ID and insurance card, and that was it. They didn't ask you anything.
Does the National Guard help there too?
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing it here as well.
Yeah, they were stationed all throughout. They took over where I got my shot is in our mall. That we had a Sears that went out of business a couple of years ago, and so they took over that whole old Sears space, and so they had gigantic spaces where you could be far apart and long winding lines and different waiting areas and stuff like that. And the National Guard are stationed all over helping route people.
Yeah, the people I've talked to said it's pretty like boom boom. That's like get them through. Apparently in Grand Rapids they're vaccinating like 5,000 people a day.
Really? That's good.
That's what I heard.
That's
like,
great,
man, that's getting through. That's you got to have a pretty good system to get that many people through in a day.
Yeah, they should have put Chick-fil-A in charge of it. They'd be done by now.
No kidding. Or the joke that we had, I don't know, a month ago, Amazon, have Amazon drivers give it.
There you go. Just come to your house.
Yeah, for sure.
Roll up your sleeve.
Yeah, roll up your sleeve. Here's your package of paper towel, and here's your vaccine.
It's kind of like the guy who did my antigen test, and then like, oh my gosh, I think it was brand new or something. He was just It was a nose test, and he just
He jammed it up there.
You pickle your brain.
yeah. It's like, okay, you can stop now. Stop.
Did he put it so far up one of your fingers moved? He was poking something into your brain.
It was crazy, I'm telling you.
Dang. All right. Well, thanks for the story, Larry. I appreciate that. Before we get into slow down, Jason. Gig economy news.
Use your words.
Use my words. We're going to talk about our studio sponsor, Irvine's Auto Repair in Grand Rapids Hybrid. We can't thank them enough for supporting us. You can go to irvines.com to schedule all your services, maintenance, brakes, whatever. They service everything except German cars. Volkswagen? Is it Volkswagen German?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So no German. The Germans. No German cars. But everything else. So 532-6600. I don't know what else. I talk about them so much. Like, they're amazing. I had my car there last week. And yeah, I mean, you're not going to go wrong. It's going to be great. Everything's sanitized and all that stuff. What were you going to say, Jesper?
No, I was just going to say, I actually think I'm going to take my black car in there just to kind of get an idea of the things that
No. Just push that one off the cliff. We've already established that. They don't even...
Well, but the body is actually in a fairly good shape. Well, apart from the two big bumps in the back, but... I don't know. It's either that or buying a new car. Of course, I don't want to buy a new car right now, and it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it is. Well, getting like another payment is just like the worst. Like, once you pay a car off, it's just like, oh.
I know it needs. I know it needs new brakes and pads, and an alignment. So. Nope. I just wanna see. You'd love to see it. Yeah, no, Megan, you don't want to see it. It's a sore sight.
Just bring your checkbook.
Yeah, I just would like to get an idea of how much it's gonna take to kind of get it road safe. That's all.
Yeah. You haven't had the best of luck with fixing that car for whatever reason, but
yeah, somebody else on the stream in this room here kind of helped me with the brake last and didn't do too good job.
What? Oh, F you. It definitely was Larry.
Yeah, I drove up from Kentucky to help Jesper with his brakes.
No, it wasn't Jason's fault. He he definitely did everything he could. It was just a weird set of brakes.
Yeah, your car's weird.
I know.
It's a Mazda. What can you say? Okay.
Hey,
so let's jump in. I hate Mazda. I feel like Mazda's like the redheaded stepchild of the foreign cars. It really is. It really is. I mean, Mazda is just a Ford. So, but wait, is Mazda a foreign car?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Japanese, right?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
But I know it's foreign, but.
Well, I feel like the Ford dealership sells Mazdas. But anyways, you got Honda, and you got Toyota, and then you got the Mazda. Like,
see, Megan, she stands with me.
What's that?
That's good. She said Mazdas are good. I'll stand with Jesper. See, Megan, she's all
whatever. She just wants your business.
Hiroshima, Japan.
It is Ford, she says.
Yeah, she just wants your business. She's just kissing your ass.
Hey, that's okay.
All right, so the first one is kind of Christmas related, and you'll be like, what? I don't know. It's a TikTok, and it's I'm trying to explain it for the audio people. You can hear the words in it, but basically it's one of those Christmas light setups. You know how people put those to music or like fun little things or whatever like that? That's what it is, but it's about delivering a pizza in 30 minutes or less. So I'm going to play it, so hopefully it'll transfer over to audio, but here we go.
This is Jonathan. I'm delivering your order from Brand's Pizza Palace. I just got caught by a roadblock or something. There's just a bunch of cars on the road. Fuck, they're shooting. Let me get down underneath my seat and get my gun. You pulled up on the wrong got an automatic down here somewhere. Let me through, you son of He's got a grenade! Hey, cease fire! I got a delivery that's going to be free if I'm not there in 13 minutes! And if you don't move, I'm going to take you out. Fine! Tell me your way! I got him! Okay, I'm almost there. I'll see you in a few minutes. Pizza's still fresh.
Kudos.
That was great. I don't know if they recreated that somehow on the internet. I don't know, but that was I randomly saw that on TikTok, and I'm just like, what the hell? This is the funniest thing ever. So
that was pretty funny.
I think that's like a throwback. What didn't Domino's? Wasn't they?
Domino's used to be 30 minutes are free.
Yeah,
Yes.
like what a dumb thing to do. You know, drivers are just like 90 mile an hour down to residential to get there on time.
They did it for quite a while, though.
They did. Till some kid got run over, and then they're like, "Shit, we got sued."
Yeah, we got to stop this.
It's kind of funny. Kind of funny. They just opened the Domino's in Denmark it's been there for many years, but in the city I stayed, they just opened the Domino's restaurant right in the city.
Really?
So they were all excited.
I mean, it's okay, guys, but don't you have anything local that's probably a little bit better?
No.
No? Oh, boy. All right. Moving on. Yes, was going to talk about Lyft screwing up.
They made a boo-boo, that's for sure. So this story is about Rapid City, which is what state? I forget where that was. Anyways, I don't even know that it says. South Dakota. So basically Rapid City, South Dakota, and Lyft forgot to pay the city tax, I guess, or the city fee, which sounds so weird. How do you forget? First of all, how do you forget to pay it? And then second of all, why doesn't the city just kind of move on and let them do it and kind of get them? I mean, obviously you got to get their money, and it does sound like they kind of did theirs to really get to do it, but Lyft still kind of messed up. So basically, that goes. You weren't going to play the video, right, Jason?
No video
okay,
there.
Good. That's fine. Well, there is, but that's fine. So basically, it just goes that the app actually went down and stopped working because Lyft forgot to pay the city fee, and it's a yearly thing. It's $1,500, which would you would think that for Lyft that would be an absolute drop in the bucket. Who cares, right? $1,500, and that was like okay, why wasn't this just normally paid? So they were talking about the I guess is he the city commissioner or something like that? So I got some guy with the city. Daryl kind of had been talking to Lyft back and forth about this money, and Lyft kind of was claiming an accounting error, a new accounting software, and then they sent the check to the wrong spot. It was just a bunch of, I thought it almost felt a little bit like just kind of talking around the bush or whatever. And then it made no sense.
You got Laurel and Hardy running Lyft over there.
Yeah, I know. Just send the check. Come on. Anyways, long story short, it went down, and then the article was from February 19th, and then it goes from as of Friday, they were back, and the payment was in, and the Lyft drivers was again able to operate. So I guess it got back. But they were down for a couple of days and was creating quite the hubbub, and Lyft drivers were not able to make any money. So
I'm curious if like they gave them a bunch of reminders, and so they're like, you know what, screw these guys. Like we sent them like 10 reminders. It's $1,500. It
sounded like they did.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Daryl, he was like, you know, we talked and reached out to them 3 times. We gave them the benefit of the doubt. Just shut them off. And
so, I don't blame him.
But what's interesting to me, and some kind of thought that went through my mind, is first of all, Lyft app doesn't just stop working, right? So somebody from Lyft will have to stop it from working, which means they knew that they weren't gonna get the fee, or they weren't gonna be legally able to drive in the city.
Yeah, why
not just pay it?
That's confusing. So you're saying that Lyft would have to shut that area off. Why would they shut it off? Why didn't they just keep it on and say, "Oh, we missed the payment. Here's the money"?
Because you're not allowed. They're not allowed to
pay a big penalty if they kept the Lyft app on without paying the tax. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, because basically they'd be operating in the city without a license.
Yeah,
I guess damn government people are.
Oh yeah. No, that would have been super expensive for Lyft.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess. It just seems ridiculous for $1,500.
That was my biggest thing. Is just pay it. Just pay the money.
Lost
right?
how many millions or billions of dollars last year, and they can't chunk out $1,500.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, and then all the excuses,
Yeah.
like blaming some new accounting software, and then they send the check out, but to the wrong location. It's like, okay,
somebody needed to get chewed out over that one.
Well, I'm hoping somebody lost their job. It sounds like somebody
needed to, because they certainly weren't doing it.
What city was it in?
Rapid City, South Dakota.
Rapid City, but that was weird because it says it was Rapid City, South Dakota, but then it ends by saying that as of Friday, the shipment is in Kentucky and Lyft drivers are able to operate. So,
what?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's strange.
I know.
I hadn't had any outages here that I know of.
So it was just weird, but yeah, it quotes Rapid City, South Dakota, but I don't know. Who knows?
Anyways,
but that was an interesting story.
It does happen, though. There was a story recently, not rideshare related, at Citibank. Someone at Citibank paid the loan too early, and it was like $550 million or something, and the creditors were like, yeah, we're not giving that back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the judge ruled they didn't have to because they were owed the money, and they didn't take it under false pretenses.
Right. And I think, like, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's Citibank. Like, what's $500 million? I'm like, that's no skin off your nose. But I thought, somebody got fired for that too.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, right. Definitely.
Moving forward, one of the topics. Are you okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe try to mute your mic next time before you do that.
That would have been good.
That would have been nice because I can't edit that out. Moving on. One of the things that I've been seeing, and I'm sure you have all seen, is these news stories popping out, which about DoorDash and the decline now strategy. I think a lot of the stations are repurposing the same story, but I've been seeing it pop up all over the place, even locally now. And so basically what it boils down to is the drivers are sick of, making little dollars, $3, $4. So people are starting to band together and say, hey, you need to start declining all these. So it's an article by Vice. They talk about different strategies and certain things on how to make, optimize your dollars. And most of the things they talk about is I do that already. I won't take a $3 order. $7 is my minimum. Now, have I taken a $6 or a $6.50? Yes. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? We all just
it's a really slow day, or it's right across the street.
The problem, right across the street. The problem is you take that $6 one on a really slow day, and then 2 seconds later, the other app jumps up with an $18 one. You're like, son of a bitch! And then you got to cancel the one.
You cancel the first one and take the other one.
Yeah, and then
the
hopefully
sixth one's going to be awful late.
Yeah, and hopefully you don't already have. Okay, once I have the food, like if I'm in the restaurant, I will not cancel it. Like if I'm there, I won't. It has to happen like in transport or in transportation to the restaurant, because I'm not going to screw somebody like that. Like that food's going to be real cold. But so that's what's been going on. And I hope a lot of the apps do it. There's apparently a workaround in an old Android app for DoorDash. And there's some steps that you can do. And you can basically see. So DoorDash likes to hide the big part of the tip behind like we're at the Wizard of Oz, like behind the curtain. I don't know why they do that. They give like the minimum that you're going to make, but let's say the customer tip 20, they might show you're going to earn 13. I'm like, I don't know why they hide that, but apparently this is new version of this app with DoorDash, not new version, old version. It has to be on Android. And you have to go through all these steps, but apparently you can see exactly what you're getting paid when you do this. Now, I don't know how DoorDash hasn't squashed it. I don't know anything about coding, so
I'm sure they will squash it soon.
Yeah,
they'll rewrite their code.
And they also have another app that's kind of like Maestro, and I'm sure you can make a lot more money that way, because guess what? When those $3 comes in, it declines it for you. So you don't even have to hit like, too far away or too low. So it does cost money though, something like that. But guys, if you're a driver out there for any app, do even Uber Eats or Grubhub, don't take the low ones. Just don't do it. And eventually people are going to realize that if they don't tip, their order's going to sit there. Like I see pictures all the time of all these orders at Chipotle. I'm like, These are the ones that didn't tip. They're just sitting there because eventually the cities or the people in the city that you're living in is going to catch on, and they're going to stop doing it. Hopefully.
Right.
You would think so.
Yeah. So what do you think about things that circumvent the apps out there? Do you think that's ethical? Do you think that people shouldn't do that, or what?
Are you asking me?
In general, you're both here.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesper.
Fine. I obviously it's not how the apps are intended to be used. So I think that I don't like them, but I know it's possible, and I know that drivers or people who know more than most will do a lot of stuff to try and find those gaps. But I do. I like it when they close those gaps so that it gets to be the same for everybody.
I get the fairness of it. I totally do. But then I also look at, like, I don't do anything with those things. I just do it myself, like whatever. That seems like too much. Maybe the Maestro app maybe might be easy, but the other one seems way too hard. Like, you have to do all these steps every time you log on, so it's not like it's.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I wouldn't care for that.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work. But my point is, Jesper, with this is like, yeah, you want to make it fair. Then why won't DoorDash make it fair? That's the problem. I think if they would show the money up front, I think people wouldn't go circumvent it, because then they're like, why would I take this $7 order that's going to be $7 where I can take this $8 order where it's actually $12, but DoorDash didn't tell me that for whatever effed up reason.
Correct. Well, it's probably because they know that if they make that public, a lot of the small orders are not going to get picked up, right?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely the reason. They want to make sure, or they want to, have that expectation that somebody's going to pick it up, and with somebody thinking, oh, it only shows 8, but maybe it's really going to be 13.
I think if they were to actually show it, one would think that it would be easier for the people ordering the food to kind of put 2 and 2 together and maybe start tipping more, and so it would be for a brief period that the cheaper orders didn't get picked up. But you never know how it's going to be, as you always have said many times before, Jason. There's always some new driver who is just going to take everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The newbies are always going to not know better.
Yeah, I guess my only tip for DoorDash, the other apps I haven't quite figured out. DoorDash, and this is from Gabe. I kind of was realizing it while I was doing DoorDash, but he kind of like confirmed it that anything over $7 or $7.50 typically is going to be a little bit more when you because you find out how much you make once you complete the order, right? So if it says $7.50, it'll say, oh, $8.50. You got it. This is $1 more than what you were quoted. Typically, if it's $7 or $7.50, you can be sure that it's probably going to be a little bit more. But I see these huge ass orders on Reddit. Like, I've never gotten a big ass tip. Like, it's maybe been like $5 more, but they're like, oh, $40 extra. I'm like, what the hell? I mean,
you gotta remember that it's only the people who really have something to share that they will.
That's true. You're right.
So, you're going to see the outliers.
Yeah, that's probably a 0.5% of what is actually out there.
Yeah.
But
I think
sure
$30. 30 something's the biggest tip I've gotten on a food order.
$30 tip.
Yeah, it was on a seafood place, and it was probably $90 worth of seafood.
Yeah. Well, you guys got a tip. I mean, and we're going to talk about. We have another video of a guy. I have a different attitude on this one. I had an attitude at the beginning of it, but then I kind of read the story as it kind of developed over time, so I kind of changed my tune. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Jason changed his tune.
I know. Like, I used to be Republican, and never mind.
Let's not go down that wormhole.
We're not going public politics right now. Oh my gosh, I am.
You're going to turn Republican tomorrow when they, they're going to inaugurate Trump tomorrow, right?
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I better get my gun and run down to the Capitol or something.
There you go. Join the fun.
Right. All right, Jesper, how you doing? Are you failing fast?
I'm on the struggle bus. I am. I'm still. I mean,
we got you, Jesper. We got you, man.
If you're tired, just pinch your penis head. That'll wake you up.
Oh, hang on one second.
I'm glad you rolled with it. I was waiting for you to yell at me, but you rolled with it. I love it.
No, I'm still. I mean, I came back from Denmark Sunday night, and I'm still just kind of struggling a little bit with getting used to this time difference. And last 2 nights I've been waking up at 3:30 in the morning. So this morning it was a little early. I woke up at 4:15. So I'm getting there, kind of. But I'm a little bit on the struggle bus. So. But I don't think the next one was me, was it?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
the rideshare guys.
Lucky for you, this is your last article. The rest are pictures and videos. So,
so again, I know we talked about this a ton before, but again, it just reiterates that you need to have your own insurance. Basically, anybody who has been driving Lyft and Uber for a long time know that Uber's deductible is $2,500, and now so is Uber's.
Yeah, it was Lyft. Lyft's always been $2,500.
Uber is raising their deductible to $2,500 as well. I guess effective March 1, 2021. So basically, what this article is saying is just that you gotta make sure that you have an additional insurance. This particular article is from the Rideshare Guy, which is another big podcast person.
He's the OG.
He's the OG. So if you want to go there, go to the Rideshare Guy and talk. Read this article. There's a lot of good information. There's a lot of ways you can also kind of get some quotes there as well. I mean, no matter what, you should always get new quotes every year to figure out what it's going to cost for you to get auto insurance. But make sure that if you are driving Uber or Lyft, make sure you get that extra additional rider, and make sure to ask that your rider will cover the difference between your deductible to Lyft or Ubers, because they don't automatically do that, but there's some of them that will. So basically, most are
agents. Companies.
Most insurance, most policies today will have a deductible for $500, something like that, maybe $1,000. So whatever you have, make sure that the writer stated that it'll cover that difference between theirs and yours. So that's the biggest thing there. And then just get the quotes and make sure that you have that rider, because it is super important.
Yeah, and just have a conversation with your insurance agent about those gaps and what happens in these scenarios, because we all hope that it doesn't happen.
Right.
But it can happen in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it could. Some dumbass pulls out in front of you. And
And I think the biggest thing is, it used to be that you could drive without it and nobody would ever find out. That's not the situation anymore. Nope. I mean, Lyft or Uber will find out. You might as well just realize it. And so if you don't want to get dropped for driving without
the rider
and potentially actually commit fraud, then you just need to get it. So
would that be technically fraud? Because I mean, the policy states you can't use it for livery.
Yeah. So technically it is fraud, and they can drop you. Yes.
All right, moving on. This was kind of funny. I mean, I see some crazy stuff when I deliver, and so this floor mat kind of got it. It says, for the audio listeners, he drops the food down, and the mat says, "I'm so glad you came," and then in parentheses it says, "That's what she said." And if you're Office fans, like, I love The Office. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I just love all these what do you call those? I want to say floor mat, but doormat, for God's sakes. There was one, I don't know if we shared it on the podcast, but it says "come back with a warrant" or something like that.
Is it the original meme?
What, this
Speaking of The Office, Jason, you know what we had at work today?
What?
Pretzel Day.
You did?
We did.
That's amazing.
Our employee committee brought us pretzels.
The planning party committee?
Yeah. The planning. Yeah, I'll have to call them that next time.
You should. If you love oh God, that show is great.
It's the best.
I watch it so many times. Where are we at?
Yeah, we actually had Pretzel Day on Monday, today and tomorrow because they're trying to cover all these people who are working part-time from home. And then us people who work every day from the office, we get pretzel day 3 days.
Dang. Do you get all the fun toppings?
Not as many as they had, but they had like peanut butter and Oreo. They had caramel. They had beer cheese. They had mustard, marinara. They had about 8 or 10.
I don't know how I feel about sweets on my pretzel. Well, I know the sweet salty works like a Payday candy bar, right? Like
yes.
They're delicious. How can you go wrong? But I don't know.
It's very good.
Caramel on my pretzel, that kind of like.
That's what I had today on mine. It was very good. It was very good.
I'll have to try that. So before we continue, we are actually looking for more sponsors. Of course, we have Irvine's Auto Repair. If you are a business out there or want to be a sponsor on the show, we would love to have you. But in the meantime, we want to talk about the podcast Rideshare Rodeo. That's our buddy Steve from Colorado. I'm actually going to be on the show, and Larry was just on his show. I'm going to be on sometime in April for his 100th episode or his 1-year anniversary or something like that. So check out his podcast. He's got a lot of cool interviews. He's had Larry on there. The guys that own Maestro. I know I talked about them earlier. Mm-hmm. How was your interview with him? What'd you guys talk about?
It was great. It was great. We had a lot of fun. I enjoyed being on his show. We had a really good time, and it was funny. Like I think it was a day or maybe 2 after I was on his show. He texted me a picture. They had gotten 18 inches of snow in 7 hours.
Wow. Yeah. He lives near the mountains. He does a lot of skiing.
And then in the afternoon, he's like, look, it's all melting away already.
That's crazy.
Like 18 inches of snow in 7 hours. Oh my gosh. This city would be shut down.
Yeah.
So bad.
But yeah, check out his podcast. You can download it on any, podcast platform. It's Rideshare Rodeo. He's been in the gig business longer than us. But he just, started his podcast about a year ago.
Got some great shows. Yeah. Great topics.
Yeah. So check it out. I'm looking forward to being on his show. So we talked about tipping earlier, and I probably should have put this picture with that. Just kind of an interesting thing on Reddit from the DoorDash Reddit. If you ever want some entertainment, follow the DoorDash Reddit. It's really good. It says to customers, tips are not tips, they are bids. I will keep this simple. Your tips are a poorly phrased word for your bid for a contractor to complete a service for you. We choose which bids to take, and we will not choose to lose money. Each order is a new job for us, and we may choose not to do the job you're trying to offer us. I thought that was great. I mean, we all kind of know that that's kind of what it is. But I thought he worded it perfectly. Like, we're independent contractors. You're throwing out a bid like this. As a customer, you're looking, obviously for the cheapest bid. But we're not looking for that. And so if you're going to throw out a crappy bid, we're not going to take it.
And I think a lot of customers would never think of it in that way unless they saw something like that. It just wouldn't come to mind that, yeah, it really is. It's a bid, and they just think, oh, I'm tipping a little bit. That's probably good enough. But yeah, you got to look at it from both perspectives, because you're out there putting all these miles on your car and gas and being out in the weather and dealing with all that stuff. You definitely want to make a little extra there.
Yeah, I just don't think people realize that. I mean, no. I bet I would be interested if doing a poll just to throw it out there. How many people think we actually work for the company? Like,
hey, I just had somebody last week. They're like, so does Uber own this car? Is this Uber's car?
Yes. Yeah.
No, this is my car.
Yeah. So it makes sense that there would be some people that wouldn't understand that. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm sure they think we're driving, Grubhub vehicles or whatever.
I used to get that question once a week at least.
Yeah.
Oh, when you were driving?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten it a lot. It's the first time in a while, but used to get it a lot when I first started, for sure.
Yeah. So, again, this is just a bid for contracting us. If you're going to throw out a bad bid, we're just not going to take it. And yeah, right. I don't know how else you can get the word out. You're on Reddit. I'm so involved in that community of food delivery workers. It's like a no-brainer to me, but Joe Blow on the street just doesn't understand that. And I always said if you could tip $5, no one was going to bitch about $5. I mean, I'm grateful if I get anything, but I wouldn't take it if it was $1. Let's be honest with you. So, but I mean, $5, like you're already ordering $40 worth of food. What's $5 freaking dollars? I do get it. Because like when we get it too, and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be $40 and then I got a tip. I'm always going to tip. Like it's always coming, but I do see where they're coming from because once you add up all the fees.
You feel it.
You're just like, oh shit. But I'm like, he's doing a service. Like even if I wasn't a gig worker, I always tip pretty good. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that just is part of my, your brain. You tip somebody that delivers something to you,
Here's a hypothetical, and we kind of talked about this with AB5 and all that other stuff. But would you like if DoorDash or Uber or Grubhub paid you $11, which has happened in California, per order flat each time? Would you have that over, the chance of you getting a $20 order or a $3 order?
It'd have to depend a lot on the parameters they put around it.
Yeah,
because I've delivered food to Portland, Tennessee,
and I don't know where that is. That's far away.
It's about 35 minutes from here.
That's nuts.
Probably 40 minutes.
Yeah,
and I did it back to back one Saturday.
Oh,
These people
Lord.
work at a Macy's fulfillment center, and they were on their lunch break. And I'm like, have you ever thought of packing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Because you're paying like way too much for this hamburger that's cold and not that good by the time I get it to you, even though I had it in a hot bag. It only does so much. I don't understand it, But yeah, I mean, if there were certain, depending on the parameters, like you're only going to have to go so far and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I take it because it's part of it's the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It is. It's part of it's a game and a challenge, and same way with rideshare driving. That's part of it. So I don't know.
If you're up for
if I wanted an $11 an hour job, I'd go deliver pizzas for
Well, it doesn't mean you're getting $11 an hour. It means you're $11 an order. So sometimes you can do three orders in an hour. Then you're thinking, oh, you're up at $30.
Yeah, if they would put parameters as far as how far I'm going to have to deliver, I would certainly consider it.
But like we said with the California thing, there are some rules that you have to follow with that, so it's not like it's like every order's, you can just do whatever you want. So then it kind of throws the independent contractor portion.
Yeah, there's always pros and cons to it for sure.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I really enjoy the way it is.
Right. So the next article, I don't really have any video or anything, but Uber, there's a guy that developed a Chrome extension for Uber, and he drove, actually he was a bike delivery guy. He did like 20 or 30 deliveries and then realized that he was getting underpaid. So he developed this extension. If you guys want it, I will give it to you. You just PM me and I can give it to you. But I tried to look for it on the store and I couldn't find it. But basically Uber shut the app down because it was a infringement, obviously copyright on the word Uber. But apparently he got it back up, and I used it, and I looked at about 30 rides, and they shortchanged me on 3 of them. So we're not talking a ton, but like each one they shortchanged me like 0.2 of a mile, which again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're
over millions of drivers, think how much that adds up.
We had Mike Delivers on. He just does Uber Eats. I'm going to give him this extension. It's not clunky. Once you get it installed, you basically have to look at your earnings on your desktop. You can't do it on your phone on Chrome. And then it lights up green if it's good, and it lights up red if it's bad. You click on it. It's pretty cool what he did.
I definitely check that out.
Yeah. We're trying to get him on the show, not on the main podcast, but for an interview. And Jesper, you're falling asleep, dude.
I know.
If you want to bail, you can. I'm totally fine with that.
From here.
Yeah, I'm totally fine if you want to bail.
Is it cool? I gotta
go. You can bail. Guys. No
problem. Yes, sir. I saw you. I will get you.
Yeah, I saw you dozing off. I'm like, it's good, man. I got you.
Yeah, Megan, I'll give you a call.
It won't be tonight, though.
No,
probably not.
All right, buddy. Have a good sleep.
See you, man.
Bye. Poor guy. Holy cow.
Poor Jesper. Poor Jesper. Went over to visit mom, and now he's
it's funny when
suffering jet lag.
Yeah, he flew back on Sunday, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be fine." I was like, "Are you sure about that? Like, I don't think you're going to be fine. You better take a nap on Wednesday." Yeah, and I don't think he did. You know,
I can't relate too much because I've never flown that far.
Me either.
By any means. The farthest I've flown is from out to California.
Yeah. I saw him I saw his eyes close. I'm like, nope, just go to bed. It's fine. We're almost
I didn't
done.
know whether to say anything or not say anything.
Well, at first I thought his camera was freezing. Then I saw him open it and close it again. I'm like, nope, he's dying.
Nope, he's gone.
Dying on the vine. But anyways, it's called Uber Cheats. You can try to find it in the Chrome store in the extension. Like I said, I couldn't find it. He sent me a direct link, but we're going to have him on the show just to kind of talk about it. Cause like, hey, can you build one for DoorDash? Can you build one for Grubhub? Like we want to see. And again, are you going to stay online? He knows that you're not going to call Uber support for like 25 cents or 50 cents. Cause who's going to stay there for a half hour and chat about that? Like no one's going to do that, but you may find one that's pretty big. So who knows?
Right. Like I say, it wouldn't surprise me.
No.
You know, you've heard those stories ever since. I've heard them ever since I've started driving rideshare. These people that claim that they're always shortchanging, and like I said, who's going to sit there and manually take the time to look at all that stuff and run it through there? Most people are not going to do that.
I often wonder if it's some sort of GPS drift, like it. Are they purposely? Is it a bug in their app somewhere that they're stopping it short?
It would be interesting to see if it ever goes in your favor or if it's always to your detriment.
Oh, most of them are either right on or no. It never. No. There was like
never in your favor.
It was. I think I checked like 40 of them. There was one that said it was barely in my favor, and a couple of them it was not in my favor, but it was such a low percentage that it could have been an error. So they still greened it, but hey, just take a look at it. But the 2 or 3 that I saw were 17%.
Oh, wow,
off.
yeah.
So
that's pretty good chunk there.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't do Uber all the time. It's part of my tool belt. But I mean, if you did Uber Eats all the time, I mean, it could be, $5-10 a day.
Yeah, just think how much that guy that made $8,000 in 1 month doing Uber Eats could have made if they were paying him what he really made.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's do this real quick. This is just kind of funny. Another kind of door or something that you see when you're delivering us at deliveries. Please do not ring doorbell. Then our dogs bark. We yell at dogs for barking. Dogs get sad for being yelled at. Huge thanks for contributing to our dog's mental wellness, which is kind of funny. Whatever, I've seen those. And that says, stay safe, wash your hands. Oh, and call your mom. She misses you. And I just thought that was so funny. It's so unique.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, she probably does. You should probably call your mom because she does miss you. So
that's right. Be a good son.
Yeah.
Call your mom.
You're probably not doing any food right now, right? You're just doing mostly passengers now, right?
I'm doing mostly passengers, and that's mainly just because more what I enjoy. But I'll turn them on, especially if it's slow. But lately, rideshare has been so busy.
Has it?
There's definitely not near as many drivers as there used to be. I know a lot of them, like I said, are still caught up in the background thing. And
okay.
I just don't know. But I've had several people tell me, "Hey, I was trying to get a ride earlier and it said no drivers available," or I've been waiting 30 minutes for you, for some driver to get here. So
I think part of the problem is the community doesn't know that you're out there. The pandemic. I mean, it's still pretty slow here as far as we talked about it earlier on the show, but maybe that's part of the problem that people don't. The drivers aren't out there because they don't know that people are really looking for the rides.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get out, as much as I can while I can, kind of make hay while it's good, before everybody starts piling back in.
Yeah. Be interesting. Next one's kind of funny. It's just how does this even happen? I can tell you this is DoorDash because I see this all the time. Instructions, leave at my door. I get charged for every text. Please ring doorbell, but do not text. Thank you. I'm like, is this a joke?
On like a 1983 phone plan? Or
yeah.
what's
Like
going on?
when's the last time? I mean, I bet it's been a decade since they charged for texting for me, but I just thought that was comical. Again, in the DoorDash Reddit, if you're a DoorDash driver, you got to check it out because they have some funny stuff in there for sure. Right.
I need to get into Reddit more. Well, I don't need to because I don't need something else to.
I love
suck
Reddit.
Up my time, but
I love
Reddit.
Reddit.
I mean, when I use it, I enjoy it. I just don't. I've never gotten into a regular habit of getting in there. Usually if I'm going, it's for a purpose, specific thing. I don't. Kind of meander around in there, but I know they got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I get most of my stories from Reddit. I'm in the Uber group, the DoorDash, the Grubhub, the Shipt, all that stuff, and a lot of it's pictures of customer interactions, which is kind of funny. But sometimes, like that guy that he talked about the bid, and instead of, I'm like, dude, that was brilliant. Like we all know that's what it is, but when somebody actually wrote it down and you actually read it, you're like, yes. This is what it is.
Right. It explains it. And again, like I said, I think if you're just a customer and you've never done it, I don't think you would think of it in that way. But if you heard it or read it, I think you would think, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I understand that. I've always had the conversation of like, I think every person growing up should work in a restaurant. Like your first job, whatever, maybe for a year or whatever, going through high school, you kind of get it. Even if you're not a server, you just kind of get how that whole system works.
Right.
Some people hate the tipping system, whatever. I don't. I think it's great. When I get great service, I reward it. When I get poor service, I don't. I'm sorry you make $2.50 an hour, but this is how it works. So, but anyways, we shouldn't get too deep into that.
Right.
Next one's kind of funny. It's a little video. It's Family Guy. Hopefully it won't boot us offline, but if it does, oh well. It's quick enough, but it's about the things that you need to become an Uber driver, according to this. And obviously it's not true, but we'll play that real quick.
It's my dog's car. Oh, and I know you didn't ask, but I am quick to anger.
Okay, great. Now get out there and try to kiss as many ladies as you can. The record is 60 in a month. You, sir, are officially an Uber driver.
So basically what it's saying is just the joke of like, it doesn't matter if it's your car. It doesn't matter if you have a driver's license, whatever. You can be an Uber driver.
All optional.
All optional. Yeah, that's always the running joke with that. Okay, last spot is for us, Patreon. We'd love for you to support us on Patreon. Larry, I think you were the first one.
I was.
And thanks for signing up for the email on Threads too, by the way, a-hole. Now I actually got to create a newsletter.
You don't do it just for me, man.
I'm not gonna. Ben showed me a screenshot of that, but anyways, we would love for you to support us on Patreon. You get an extra podcast a month. You get a piece of merch. And, of course, the pre-show, we kind of talk shit and have fun, just kind of like we do on this. So it's just kind of an extra podcast of us just having fun. But
well worth it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Larry. We'd love for you to have to support us. It just kind of goes into our pot of, helping us pay the bills. Like the StreamYard costs money, editing software costs money, all that stuff costs money. So if you could support us, we would super appreciate it. All right, we're in the home stretch. What do we got left? You're up, Larry. I do have a video for that. So do you want me to play that first, or do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, just go. Yeah, if you want to play that video, that'd
all
be cool.
Right.
Hey, Wilf, in a disclosure with the SEC just now, Lyft says that it is seeing a recovery in ride sharing even sooner than it had expected. It says that it expects improving losses for the current quarter, an adjusted EBITDA loss of $135 million. That is better than the $145 to $150 million that it previously forecast. Now, this comes on the back of improving ride-sharing trends. Lyft says the last week of February was its best week in terms of volume since pandemic lockdowns began. The month as a whole saw daily rides grow 4% from January, and Lyft expects the recovery to continue into March, with ride-sharing volumes turning positive year over year. On the back of this disclosure, we are also watching shares of Uber. Lyft shares, they just popped more than 2%. Uber is up that much as well. We did hear from Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi yesterday, who also said that they were seeing some green shoots, but it was, quote, too early to tell. Wilf, we will be speaking soon exclusively to Lyft's CFO, Brian Roberts. So we will talk to him about this update and what it means for ride sharing and the recovery for the rest of the year.
All right. So, yeah, they're just talking about Lyft is saw the last week of February was their best week since last March when the pandemic hit. And to me, in my market, that has been, I can see that as true. Like I said, we were talking earlier, it's been extremely busy here compared to what it was even just, a month or two ago. Even though restaurants aren't fully open, they're supposed to be at 50% capacity. I think some of them are pushing that closer to 75 or 80%. And the bars are supposed to be closing at midnight, and some of them are not doing that. And I know the college kids are tired of being cooped up because they're out and about whenever the weather kind of is decent at all. So it looks like things are maybe picking back up. And, I know to me, it kind of gets that feeling that we're kind of starting to see light at the end of the tunnel of this whole pandemic thing. Things are starting to, they're certainly not anywhere, close to being normal, but you can see we're kind of moving in that direction, at least a little bit. Whereas 2-3 months ago, it felt like we were still smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah. Do you think, are you doing any Uber too, or are you just?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm doing Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, and sometimes I'll turn on Uber.
But
Eats.
in regards to rideshare, do you feel like that Lyft is busier than Uber right now?
Definitely here it is.
Okay.
And one of the people in our local group said that they had some passengers tell them they can never find, they've been having trouble finding Uber drivers, so they switched totally to Lyft.
Interesting.
So yeah, Lyft is definitely picked up here in relation to what it used to be as far as how many rides I would get on Uber and how many I'd get on Lyft. Getting a lot more on Lyft lately.
Well, that's a good sign. I was happy to hear that, to know that things are turning around, which I kind of know that, but I just I don't see it here. Even though our numbers are real low, I just don't. I mean, I'm not out enough at night to see. Right. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's hard for me to find out if it's actually coming back. I mean, it seems busier and snot on the weekends when I'm driving around, but.
Yeah. And, thanks to that good news of that strong week, Lyft's only going to lose $135 million this quarter.
Again. Yeah. So moving on, I'm going to play a video of a driver crying about an order or being emotional. And we don't play these to be mean to them. That's not what it is. It's just kind of a time to learn about what's going on and why he's upset, and maybe he didn't do the right thing, and maybe he needs to focus on some other things. But then there's kind of a cool story that follows this. So I'll play his original video that was on TikTok that went viral, and then we'll kind of talk about what's happened since then.
Y'all, I wish that people who order Uber Eats or DoorDash understood what it's like to be a driver. Like, I just spent 45 minutes on a delivery and had to pay $3 to bring this person their food because there was no free parking anywhere near their building, and they refused to come out and meet me. They tipped me $1.50 and Uber paid me $2.50. Like, I got approved 3 times the rent for income in 2 weeks, and I can't. And it doesn't matter that I'm working multiple jobs. It doesn't matter that I barely sleep and can barely afford to feed myself. I'm about to be homeless for the 3rd time since May. And it's all because people don't tip their delivery drivers. Like, how hard is it to throw us $5?
Pretty emotional. I get it. I've not been in his position where I'm up against it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm very blessed. My heart goes out to the people that are up against it. And you know,
people that depend on their gig work money to survive on, hats off to them.
It's stressful.
It is. I mean, I can imagine it'd be very, very stressful.
I do it full-time ish in the winter. But I'm married and my wife has a job, so that helps. If I was just supporting my family on gig, I'd be working like 70, 80 hours a week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hands down.
I would do the same thing.
This job you're not going to get rich on. You can make a living on it. It's a job, right? So I get what he's doing. A couple of things. I mean, again, we talk about. He actually brought up the $5 tippy thing, right? What's $5, which would help. The parking thing, I don't know where he's from. I don't know his situation. I would never pay for parking. I would park illegally before I paid for parking. Cause like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pay for parking. Like I'm only making this much. Right. And he took the order with $1.50 tip. And again, I don't know his situation. I would never take that. So I want to say, you know, I know we go hard in the paint to people about that and like, don't take it. But I don't understand your situation. We have the same thing with Amazon Flex routes. They start at $18 an hour. They go up from there. People leave them alone. I get in conversations with people outside the warehouse and they're like, oh, I take it for 18. I don't have a choice. And I'm like, I get it, but it kind of hurts us all in the long run, but I understand it. You're independent.
Everybody's got to do what's best, you know.
Yeah,
for them
you're an independent contractor. You can take it for that. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like it, it's still your choice to do that. So hopefully, I'd like to reach out to the guy and say, hey, I understand. Like, can we talk about some strategies? Like, what are you doing? I'm not the end all be all food delivery guy, but I mean, like, what are you doing? Maybe you can get some tips from me and I can help you at least make a little bit more money. So I think I'm going to try to reach out to him and see if he's interested in a conversation. But it went viral and he ended up getting a ton of money sent to him because he had his Venmo. A lot of people, like, he's just like a normal TikToker like us, or I don't know if you're on TikTok like me. I've done a few videos, whatever, but he had his Venmo on his account and people sent him a bunch of money. Well, he gave a ton of that away. Like,
really?
He kept what he needed and he gave most of it away. And then they did a GoFundMe and the same thing.
wow.
He's giving it all away. So he kind of, it was super cool. Today's show interviewed him. The only caveat that, and again, it's his choice, but he had up a follow-up video and he talked about blaming the companies that pay their drivers super low, that they should pay a minimum wage and use loopholes and blah, blah, blah. I don't want that. I like the independent contractor. I know you do too, Larry. So I don't really agree with him on that, but it seems like he's, you know, it's turning around. I really love when people give all that money away. Not all of it. I mean, he should keep some of it. He needs his apartment.
And that's what people sent it to him for. You know, they weren't sending it to him in expectation that he was going to give it away. They wanted him to, you know, to better his situation. But it's neat though when you see somebody that's not just, you know, in it for the money and don't just keep it all. And you know, pay it forward.
He bought an adaptive bike for a little boy with special needs. He spent a bunch of money on blankets, food to give to the homeless, and then he set up another GoFundMe that will be specifically used to give aid to delivery drivers, which I'm surprised no one's done that yet. You know, who's the guy that owns, you're into sports, super rich Ballroom Sports or Barstool Sports, the owner of Barstool. He set up a huge fund that has like $1 billion in it for companies during the pandemic to give money to them if they send a letter in and they're vetted and everything like that. I would be great if somebody did that for gig workers. Like, they fall on hard times. So it's like, all right, here's $2,000 to get you to pay for your rent.
I've heard it for other, like I said, other kind of industries. I know I've heard it for people in the arts in different places. I'm surprised that, or maybe it's been done. Maybe it's been done. Just haven't heard about it. But I have not read or heard about that happening anywhere. But that would be neat. You know, these people that are dependent on it, and you know, they're surviving and providing for their family, and you know, we're out there working their butt off, and sometimes it's just hard to make it.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes you're just up against it. Sounds like he had to prove how much he made to get this apartment, and so this money really helped him out. So, I'm just so glad that he gave some of it away. You always see these GoFundMes of the stupidest things. Now, this isn't stupid, but there was one where some lady mistreated a barista at Starbucks, and he got like $150K out of it. And he was like, I'm like, wait a minute, like, he just had a shitty customer. Well, the problem is she made it go viral and it made her look bad. So everyone, someone created a GoFundMe for him. But I'm just like, oh, that's crazy.
Man, you can dog me pretty good for $150,000.
Yeah, I mean, you can call me every name in the book.
You got it.
I might even let you slap me across the face for $150,000.
$150,000, yeah.
And I won't even press charges.
Okay, that's another rabbit hole.
Okay. So let's do your article, and then I think we'll get out of here.
All righty. So Lyft is bringing back something that people from my generation and older are more used to. We're used to calling a cab. Before rideshare was here, if you needed a ride, you didn't have a way to get there, you would call a cab. Well, Lyft is opening that back up for being able to call a number to order your Lyft if you don't have a smartphone or you just don't like using the apps. I know there's some people. I know my mother is a prime example. She hates a cell phone. She doesn't want to have anything to do with a cell phone. She'll barely talk on one. And I think she even still has a flip phone. She had a iPhone and didn't care for it at all.
Really?
And so, yeah. So for people like that who may not want to order it through the app, Lyft is introducing. It's I don't know I think it's just, I'm not sure if it's 800 number. And I know it's just in certain markets right now. So they're probably testing it out. And, this was a big announcement for Lyft, but actually last year Uber was testing out the same thing out in, I think, Arizona.
Okay.
I think they test a lot of things there.
I don't have a problem with it as long as it's not like GoGo Grandparent, where it's a separate company from Lyft, and so it's hard to get a hold of the customer. Like, you can't actually get a hold of the customer in the GoGo Parent. You have to go through
that.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Now, if Lyft is like actually facilitating, or they can actually send us text messages, like they're talking to the customer on the phone, and they can be that middle person, and I can actually get a text message from Lyft saying, hey, the person moved or whatever, they're actually on this end.
Right.
If it's not like that, screw that. Like,
yeah, you always need a way to contact the customer, because there's just times where they're, the GPS could be being, acting screwy, or, if it's a elder person, they're probably not used to using rideshare. They may not, know what to look for or
what to expect.
What to expect. Exactly. So yeah, it's crucial to be able to have some way of contacting them, whether it's a text or a phone call. If they call, they should be able to, well, I don't know. I guess if there's not an app, I don't know how they would route the calls like they do now, and mask their phone number.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they could call, but that needs to route to us, or
Right.
Lyft needs to collect the information and send us a text message. Like,
right, we can use to contact the passenger if we need to clarify where they're at or anything like that.
Yeah, I did like 2 of those GoGo Grandparent one, and after the second one, it ended up being a communication debacle, and so now when it pops up, I don't even take it. Or if it did, I don't know, maybe they started hiding it, and if I figured out once I accepted it, I just canceled it. I'm like, I'm not.
It'd be interesting how it comes up on the app too, like if it's going to have their name, or if it's going to say Lyft, or it's going to have a note to tell you what their name is, or that'd be interesting to see, a video of how it would look on the driver's side when it comes up. But again, they're just testing it out. I don't know that it's something.
Yeah, they test a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, they do. They test. I mean, how many features have we heard about that they've tested? We heard, what, a year ago, 2 years ago, you're going to be able to, have favorite drivers,
yes,
things like that, and then it just kind of disappears in the wind.
The similar thing about the landline, it happens to ship shoppers every once in a while that the person has a landline. I'm like, are you kidding me? I need to call them every time there's a substitution. Like, I would immediately cancel if I accepted it and it had a landline. It's like, I'm sorry. I really am that you don't have one. I mean, maybe have your grandkid do it for you or something, but I'm not going to spend the time calling you every time I need to swap out this yogurt. I just not going to do it.
Sure.
It's a little insensitive, but
yeah. And I know Uber, I think they still have it. I know you could always order a ride through on a desktop computer or a laptop, through the web browser.
I think you can still do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm not sure if I've got any rides like that, so I don't know how that communication would work either.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I think you can.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, just want to give a shout out to Antonio.
Yeah.
My Stay 100 podcast co-host. We recorded a good episode tonight. And,
did you have an interview or just you two?
We had an interview. We had a guy, he's a barbershop here called Skills. They've got like 9 guys that cut hair, and it's a really dynamic place. They have a lot of fun there. It's not your normal kind of.
It's not your supercuts.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So yeah, it was good episode.
That's cool. So Jesper, not Jesper. Larry, it was Jesper's turn. It's hilarious because it's kind of true. It's a meme that says on the top, it says drives for Uber for 3 hours makes $10, and on the bottom, it's a guy homeless, I guess. Panhandler says stands on the street for 45 minutes makes $100. Which, man, we've all been there.
To that.
Yeah, we've all been there when it's like you're out there and it's slow and you're like, oh my gosh, I made not for 3 hours. That's a little extreme, but I've been out there for an hour before and made $10. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it can happen, but
definitely.
All right, and then real quick for the tip time, Larry brought up a good point. Guys, get out and move. You know, when you're out and about driving, especially if you're elderly, not that you're elderly, Larry.
Yes, like if you're elderly like me.
I think I have more gray than you, and you're like 10 years older than me, 9 years.
Yeah, got my baby face. But if I grow my beard, it's gray.
Is it?
It is,
okay. Yeah, just get out and move your body a little bit, especially if you're a rideshare driver. Now, if you're a delivery guy, like even food delivery, I'm out every 10 minutes probably.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it so much. But man, I know there's times I've been rideshare driving and I look down, I was like, man, it's been 10 hours. I haven't gotten out of this car.
Right. Yeah, and it's dangerous for blood clots and stuff like that. I'm not saying
plus it's just not good for your health. I mean,
no.
General health at all anyway. You know, even if you're not getting blood clots, it's just not good. You need to get up and, you know, I try now to at least every, 2 hours or so, nothing else, just get out of the car and stretch and walk around the car, something like that. It doesn't always happen, but I try to.
Yeah, plus you're not, you're sucking down junk food and caffeine. I mean, we're not all up there eating bananas and water. I mean, I do bring water with me every day, but you're just sitting there. So just get up, move around, and don't take those $3 DoorDashes.
Exactly.
Well, Larry,
$18 Amazon Flex.
Right. Yes. Unless you need it. Like I know I come off so hard, but I'm not. I really am sensitive to people that need it. I
think the main thing is everybody. You have to pick what you're willing to do.
Yep.
And if you're willing to do that, then that's your choice, your decision.
Yeah.
I know. I started out when I first started doing food delivery. I was taking $5 orders and stuff, and it's kind of gone up. Generally, I mean, unless it's really close, I generally don't take much under $9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm like that on the weekends, but during the week, and
that's different for sure. Yeah, and that's all dependent on how busy it is and what time of day, what's going on.
I've had a slow week for food delivery. It's been
really?
sparse. There we go.
Sparse.
It's been sparse. I don't know why. It's just come to a screeching halt this week.
Yeah, and it's weird how that happens, and all the gig stuff, it's up and down. You're on you're on a roller coaster. And sometimes it's going to be really busy, or it's going to be slow. Generally the first couple of months of the year, we know things are generally going to be a lot slower than they usually are after New Year's. You have, besides Valentine's Day,
right? You
have kind of a lull in business and everything. Everybody spent all their money on Christmas, but then it starts picking back up around March, around this time of year. But it's weird. And like here, I know rideshare on the weekends especially is very dependent on what's going on at the university.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this week it might have been the weather. It's been kind of turned nice. Yeah. So when the sun's out, food delivery is going to be slower. People aren't going to stay in their offices. They're like, I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out and go get my food today because
same thing with rideshare. When it's warm and it's nice weather, especially the college kids, they walk to a lot more. You'll see them walking downtown from campus because it's not that far. But if it's snowing like it was 2 weeks ago, or 10 degrees, or flooding like it was Saturday and Sunday, I mean, it poured.
Wow.
It poured. We had lots of flooding here. Like I said, our schools were actually out 2 days here for flooding because the roads couldn't be passed. And but yeah, when the weather's bad, a lot more people are calling Ubers. But then again, sometimes it means they're not going to go out at all, depending on how bad the weather is.
All right, Larry, well, thanks again. Where can people, I know you're not recording on your podcast, but where can people find the one you recorded with Antonio, and then where they can find you online?
Sure, yeah. The my other podcast I do with Antonio is called Stay 100 Podcast, and still hoping to ramp back up lifting with Larry now that I've got back out driving again. And they can find me on Instagram, Lifting with Larry 2, since Instagram deleted my original account.
Right.
They can find me on Twitter, Lift with Larry, Facebook, Lifting with Larry, all those. So thanks for having me on the show again. It's always fun. Sorry we ran Jesper off, but it looks like he's gonna get some much deserved
sleep. Man, I know that feeling. Like, yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, he's not gonna. I mean, it went from like the 10 minutes before he nodded off. I'm like, oh boy, we're circling. He's leaning back in his chair like this. I'm like, oh, we're circling the drain. We're circling the drain. So
all the signs were there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, take care, everybody.
Bye.